Hey guys, so the other day somebody left me a comment saying that they would like to see my full deck collection, and I mean, okay, the people have spoken. I guess I'll have to do that. I am going to do really quick reviews on each one so that it's hopefully at least somewhat informative and helpful, not just me fangirling over my decks. So if you saw my favorites video, then you already know my format. I'm going to do the same thing, but a little bit faster. You'll see shots of the artwork. You'll see shots of how they shuffle, and I'll talk about my 3 determining factors over whether or not I like a deck, which is the cardstock. I'm super duper duper anal about my cardstock. The artwork itself, which is subjective, but I'll give you my opinion. Not that you care, but I will. I'll also show you what it looks like so you can form your own opinion. And then the interpretation of the card and how well it embodies the meaning based on the Rider-Waite deck. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into it. I put links in the description box below for all of these decks. They will be Amazon affiliate links, so I will theoretically get a commission if you use them. If you don't want to do that, that's cool. Don't. If you do, thank you so much. All right, just gonna start here, I guess. This is the Field Tarot. Now, I love this deck. You'll find there's probably 4 or 5 decks in here that I actually don't like and kind of just want to give away. But this is one. It's a recent acquisition of mine. I haven't had it long, but I can already tell I'm going to use it a lot. It's a good size. It's got good cardstock. It's not like the cardstock dreams are made of or anything. You're not gonna like crave the shuffle, but it is a good cardstock. They're not really oversized. They're all right. Now she did do a couple of renames, but I actually don't mind it here. She renamed 3 major arcana cards, but they're close enough. She called the Wheel of Fortune, Fortune. Okay, cool. She called the World, the Universe, also fine. And then she changed Hangman to Perspective, which, okay. And then, so the artwork is phenomenal. It has this like 2D, very geometric, very clean, very modern, with like texture overlay, like painterly texture overlay on it. I'm in love with these cards. And then other notable thing about it is she did the thing where strength is 11 and justice is 8 instead of the way around. Other than that, there's nothing really notable about it. Oh, the other thing that I like about this deck, I don't always like this, but each card has a keyword on the bottom, and I actually really like it. I think it's great in this. It's done really tastefully and really simply, and it's not annoying. It's a really cool deck. I really enjoy it. If you're looking to purchase a deck, I would recommend this one for sure. Next up, the Modern Witch Tarot. If you watch my favorites video, you already know how I feel about this. It's beautiful box, beautiful artwork, excellent interpretation. Beautiful color scheme. Everything about it is great. It's so close to Rider-Waite. It's like a modern female-centered version. However, it is virtually unusable to me because, first of all, look at how thick this is. This is, it's the shittest cardstock I've ever seen in my life. It's just plastic, and this is me really trying to bend them. Listen, I can shuffle this, and by doing that, they're already warped. I don't even use this deck. It's warped from the maybe dozen times I've shuffled it. I think most of the shuffling I've done on this deck has been on camera to show how shitty it shuffles. It's really bad. If you only overhand shuffle, you might be fine, but see, then it's so plasticky and glossy that it's a little slippy. Additionally, it's so thick that if you have short, stubby hands like mine, it's kind of hard even just to overhand shuffle them. Point made. So listen, this deck is beautiful. I know it's real popular and everyone loves this fucking deck. Everyone thinks it's the greatest thing ever, but it's not. Now, if they would reprint it onto like a nice cardstock, it would be just amazing. But until that happens, I wouldn't suggest getting it. The shuffle is so important to the overall enjoyment and readability of the deck that if I can't shuffle it, if it's like that, I don't even use it. I don't even care. I'm going to do this one next just to showcase what I mean. This is the perfect cardstock. This is a great deck. This is, if you do not have this deck, if you have no tarot decks, I would recommend getting Waite. I always recommend people to start with that deck because that's the foundation of what all these decks are built off of. If you already have that deck and you are looking to purchase a deck and you don't have this one, out of everything I have here, this is the one I would tell you get. This is the most amazing deck I've ever seen. Here's the thing. It's also pretty thick, but it's a cardstock dreams are made of. It's beautiful. If you buy this deck, it does not come in black sides. I edged mine black. It's beautiful. And even though it's really thick and heavy duty cardstock, it's still very, very shuffleable, even with my short, stubby little hands. The artwork is beautiful. The way that they interpreted the cards is phenomenal. Everything about this deck. This deck is like a 10 out of 10 across the board. It's my second favorite next to the Rider-Waite deck. Like Rider-Waite, obviously, always forever. And then next to that is this deck. This is the greatest deck ever. And it's borderless art. Look at the Empress. Come on. That's so good. So, anyways, this quick review, it's basically perfect. So, you should totally get it. Next up. This is the Pride Tarot. This is one of my recent acquisitions. This one, and then these two. These are my three I just got. So this is one of those things where I feel like I'm supposed to like it because that's the socially progressive thing to do. But I don't like it. This is a collaborative deck. It literally says a collaborative deck. I didn't realize that. The basic concept, as I understand it, is... I'll just read the side. Pride Tarot is an incredibly diverse and unique deck that celebrates the LGBTQ community. This inspiring deck features 45 artists from around the globe whose poignant and powerful stories highlight some aspects of the LGBTQ experience. In the spirit of love and support, U.S. Game System Inc. is proudly donating to the LGBTQ organization. Please visit our website for more. Probably donating, but that's not specific. Anyways, here's the thing. It is a very, what do they say, diverse? An incredibly diverse and unique deck. It is. I don't have a great education or a lot of experience with art, but I'm experienced enough to know that if you're going to do a collaborative project, there has to be a central uniting component. It doesn't, and it's too much for me. I literally can't handle it. The energy is even weird because that it doesn't seem cohesive at all. Like, there are cards in here that I'm like, I wish this person would make an entire deck because I would buy the fuck out of it. But it's so varied and it feels all over the map. Like, it doesn't feel cohesive. It feels like there's just too many hands in the cookie jar. Like, it's uncomfortable to read with. It's really what it is. It's an art deck. Each card says illustrated by, and then it tells the name of the illustrator. This is an art deck. It's, I would say, a collector's deck for artwork by LGBTQ members. I wouldn't use this to read. I feel like they should have at least chosen like a color palette. Like, listen, this right here, primary colors, like these are like deep tone primary rainbow colors. If they would have handed this palette to each artist and said, hey, work within these, 6 colors, use the exact colors, then it would be cohesive. All you would need really is a color palette, and it would go together better, but it doesn't. Some of these are pastel, some are black and white, some are, it's too much. It's too much, and it's hard for me to read. I can't focus on it, and I'm sorry if that upsets somebody. So the next one, I'm actually going to ask for some help. I just got this deck. I got it for a very specific reason. It's not fulfilling my reason. So I'm hoping somebody can direct me to something that will. What I am looking for is basically a study deck that will specifically cover astrological associations. It's the one thing that I can't seem to stick. I know some like basics, like, you know, death and Scorpio and the devil and Capricorn and the Hierophant and Taurus. Like, I think I know a lot of the 12 signs and their major arcana association, but beyond that, I can't seem to remember. And I would like a deck that has, I don't know, all the associations with it on it. Like a study deck. That's what I wanted. So this is the Celestial Tarot. And that's kind of why I got it. That's what I thought it was going to be. Like, I don't know. I don't like it. Three of Wands, Perseus, Hercules. This is not what I was looking for. So I'm hoping somebody can help me with that. Listen, it's a fine deck. If you're in, it's got a lot of really cool symbology in it. And I see that, but there's no, like, it comes with one of these shit-ass pointless books, so it's not particularly informative. I want, like, a good book that goes with a good deck that really just covers specifically the astrological association. So if somebody knows of a deck like that, I'd love to hear about it. As far as this deck's concerned, I'll show you footage of how it shuffles and what the artwork looks like, or I probably already have by now in the editing phase. If you like it, cool. I have no issue with it. The cardstock is fine. It's already warped and I haven't really used it because I don't really like it. So there's that. But it is a fine card. It's like, it's not like awful. It's not great. It's just fine. Now, this is the last one of the 3 decks that I just purchased. This one, the Pride, and the Celestial. This is the Medicine Woman Tarot. Now, this is a deck where everything's been renamed. In this one particular instance, I get it. And it seems like the right thing to do. That being said, shitty book. And it's going to take me a while. I like these cards, but it's definitely going to take me a minute to work with them. First of all, good size. Good cardstock. They're a little stiff right now, but I just got them, so it's fine. I love the backs. The artwork, it's not my style. It's very markery. And I feel like, for whatever reason, when I purchased it online, and it just showed a couple of cards, and those cards looked cool. And then when I got it, I was like, oh, this is Crayola marker art. So everything's renamed. Everything. And I think it makes sense because it's a very indigenous themed deck, and there's no reason why an indigenous themed deck would have swords or wands or pentacles. I get it. So they have arrows, pipes, stones, and bowls. And then every major arcana has been renamed. But, so like, this is the priestess. It's called Seeker. But it says High Priestess up here. And it's kind of small letters, but it's fine. And the number is very small up in the corner. So it's like you have to look up to the corner to see the number, or over here to see what it is. Otherwise, you have to memorize what each one is. Also, they renamed all the court cards, and I find that to be the most confusing. Apprentice of Pipes. I don't remember which one Apprentice is. I think it's the queens are exemplars. And then totems. This what confused me. The Power Lodge of Pipes is I think that's the King of Wands. Or is it the Queen? I think it's the King. Yeah. And the images also don't really exemplify the images either. This is the 9 of Bowls, so the 9 of Cups, which would be like wish fulfillment. But its image looks a lot like the 6 of Swords. It's 2 people in a boat facing away from you, starting to paddle. It 6 of Sword vibes. So there's also an intuitive thing that's lacking. I like these cards conceptually. I would like a very indigenously themed kind of tarot deck. I love the backs. It's just, it's going to take some work for me to work with this deck. Also, I hate these books. I hate these boxes. I know I'm complaining a lot. I have decks over here that are really awesome and that I love. We're just going through the ones that aren't great. The Crow Tarot. So crows / ravens are kind of a thing for me. It's part of my jam. Snakes and owls are my primary animals, but crows and ravens are also up there on the list. So I got the Crow Tarot. They are fairly oversized. I have very short hands. You can see if I put the base of my hand up at the bottom, I mean, I can't fully grasp them very well. And what always happens when I shuffle these is my one issue. As I pretty much 2 out of 3 times, part of the deck shoots off because I literally can't. That always happens. Because they're too big for my hands to grasp. That's a me problem. I have really short, stubby fingers. Just like my body. Just short and stubby. So I have a hard time with oversized decks. That being said, it is a nice cardstock. The fact that I even can shuffle it says it's a nice cardstock. I like the backs. They're pretty, they're simple, they're earthy. My only pet peeve with the actual artwork is all the court cards and all of the major arcana cards have, let's see, so this is King of Cups, and then the major has the number here and then the label. The minors have no things. The minors just have a number at the top. No suit, no name of the suit, and I just don't understand why. Just for cohesiveness, if nothing else. If we're gonna put labels on the bottom of 2 of them, can we put it on the fucking 3rd, please? Why? Why did you do that to me? Why? It's inconsistent. It makes my brain like, eh. Like, why is there not a label on the bottom of the 3rd kind? I don't understand. Like, it makes me a little crazy. It's a little neurotic thing that goes, I have an issue with it. That's a me thing. That being said, it is really cool artwork. I really like it. They're really pretty. They also have that, like, you know, that kind of suede-y, waxy kind of coating that some matte cards have? It has that. And I know that's a real personal preference thing. I actually like that. I know not everybody does, but I actually really like that coating. I like it way, way more than I like a high gloss. A high gloss gets real slippery and slidey, and it makes them plasticky. And this more suede-y, kind of waxy, gives it a bit more texture. And also, I don't know, it just feels better. Like, it's more aesthetically pleasing. Next up, the Akashic Tarot. Here's the thing. I don't feel like they should call this a tarot deck. I don't feel like it is a tarot deck. This is one of those decks where they renamed everything, and it doesn't make any fucking sense at all. And I feel like it doesn't even really follow tarot at all. None of them, not only are they not named after the original major arcana cards, but in no way does it even follow in meaning either. See, 21, which would be the world, is called Uriel and the Sphinx. It's not even close. And if you read the descriptions, I was like, okay, well, maybe they renamed it, but maybe it means the same thing. No, it fucking doesn't. Let's see, 9 would be the Hermit. It's called Archangel Michael here. All of the suits are weird. We have roses, keys, forces, and the interpretation is, it's not a tarot deck. It's just not. It's just not. It's an oracle deck that they loosely based a tarot system on, in that there are 4 suits and then a major. But in no way does it reflect at all a tarot deck. It's not a tarot deck. It just isn't. This is my baby. I received this deck. I'm pretty sure it was my 13th birthday. I've been saying that it was when I was 12 for a really long time. And it recently occurred to me that actually it was my 13th birthday that I received this deck from my aunt as a gift. This is my Rider-Waite deck. I don't know what to say about it. It's the perfect deck. It's a Rider-Waite deck. It's my baby. 10 out of 10 on everything. It has the... My neighbors are loud. It has the best interpretation of the Rider-Waite deck because it fucking is the Rider-Waite deck. It's got perfect card size, perfect card stock, perfect artwork. It's the perfect deck. The Book of the Dead Tarot. Now, I put this in my favorites collection video, and I was really disappointed at myself when I watched it because I was like, I was not really fully honest about this deck. It is one of my favorites because it's so beautiful, but honestly, the cardstock is only marginally better than the Modern Witch Tarot. I can shuffle it, but it requires notable effort. It is not pleasurable to shuffle at all. The backs are pretty. It's a pretty deck. It is that like very... guessing you can see it somehow. It's that very high gloss kind of thing. Too glossy. It's too plastic. This is why I don't like gloss. It's just too slippy. If I try to overhand it, they just kind of slide everywhere. And the reason why that bothers me the most is because for the most part, when I do readings, I don't cut and pull. When I read my cards, I take what falls out. That being said, when I'm using slippy, glossy cards, I oftentimes, something will fall out and I'll just feel like that's not even the card I wanted. That's just literally me not being able to hold on to these cards because they're fucking slippery. So when they're really glossy like that, I kind of hate it. That being said, it is beautiful artwork. The interpretation is interesting. I'm still getting to know this deck. I do really like it though. It's got a good energy about it. I just think it's going to take me some time to kind of get a resonance with it. The cardstock does suck, if I'm honest. I don't like the cardstock. Hey guys, so I filmed this video yesterday, and then I decided that I needed to redo it because I'm stupid. And I just lost, I think, 45 minutes of footage. I'm pretty sure the last thing I actively filmed was before I'd finished with this deck, is I think where it cut off. And I thought the camera died, but it turned out, you know, it doesn't matter what happened. It doesn't matter what happened. What matters is that it's midnight, and I've spent hours filming this last night, only to redo it today, to spend hours redoing it, to then lose it halfway through, to have to, you know what? I'm drinking wine now. That's what I'm getting at. I got some fucking sparkling Moscato Rosé here. So this pile of cards is going to be interesting. Yeah. I have one wine glass in my house. It's this one. It cost me $1. Clearance after Christmas at my local grocery store. Because to be honest, I don't really drink. But I do occasionally. And now is that time. Anyways, so I'm pretty sure it cut off when I was almost done with this. And I think the last thing I was talking about was the glossy cardstock, which I don't like. That's really the end of that. It's a great deck. It's got shitty cardstock. Maybe you'll like it. Some people like it. If you're an overhand shuffler, you're probably cool with it. I'm a rifle shuffler, so I'm not cool with it. Also, yes, I understand that my entire energy has shifted. I probably seem less pleasant, but I will probably get more funny because typically, the more upset I am, the funnier I am. It's a fun way I cope with stress. So I think this is next. I hope I went and did all those. I really hope I didn't miss. I'll be so mad if I missed one. Okay. I'm actually going to, for the second time, go over this deck and this deck at the same time. Why is my music so loud? Hold on. All right. I'm going to go over both the decks at the same time. That's because they're made by the same person and they're the same basic everything. Let me explain. So, this is the Psychic Tarot Oracle by John Holland, who is some kind of wizard. And this is the Psychic Tarot for the Heart by John Holland, who is some kind of wizard. There's going to be more of that for sure. When I say I don't drink, I mean I really don't drink, and I'll probably be kind of drunk off this one cup, but I'm going to finish that bottle before I'm done with these cards. So this is going to be fun. All right. Now, this is called the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck, and I really debated if I should put this in my Oracle video or my Tarot video. I decided on Tarot. It is more of a Tarot deck for sure. Here's what's weird about it. First of all of the cards are renamed, which normally I don't like, but I actually love it in this deck. For instance, death is transformation. Let's see. The Fool is new beginnings. Strength is power. What is this? The Hangman is sacrifice. Also, if you hear other noises in the background, I have the loudest, most obnoxious neighbors ever. Sun is light. Now, it has no court cards, but it does have the addition of 7 chakra cards. I actually really like them. When I first got this deck, I almost exclusively pulled chakra cards. That made me crazy. And then the other thing is none of the cards have suits. They have colored borders instead. So, for instance, this is the Ace of Pentacles. It just says 1 and prosperity begins. Red is Pentacles. So they don't have suits. None of them have tarot names. And there are no court cards. But it is seriously one of the decks that I recommend the most. Like, I cannot recommend these decks enough. They are clear, they are concise, they are responsive. If you're somebody who gives readings, this is a tool you should have in your arsenal. You can lay down your tarot spread and then just throw a few of these down as like overarching archetypal energies, or to condense, consolidate, or add clarity to any pull, and it works beautifully, so well. Now this deck is the same basic principle, same concept, but this one is situated specifically for relationships. And it definitely leans towards the romantic idea, but it is for all relationships, really. Same situation, you have chakra cards, no court cards, everything's renamed, blah, blah, blah. So there, it's all, this would be the Two of Swords, refusing to see. It's just, it's really, really beautiful deck. Very responsive, very wonderful. I can't recommend it enough. Like, it's so good. If you don't have this, I'd recommend it. I actually think this would be a great learning deck also. I think if you're just getting into tarot and you're learning it, this would be really handy because the names of the cards are the association, or are the basic definitions of each card. So, well, not with the relationship one, but with the basic one, the Psychic Tarot, the Four of Wands, Foundations and Achievements, absolutely. Five of Swords, Confident in Defeat, absolutely. Seven of Pentacles, Patience and Planning. Like, these are really good keywords for the tarot cards themselves. If you're learning, I think this could be a really good asset or tool. So yeah, the Tarot of the Divine. This is a wonderful deck. A couple of things. One, if you're learning tarot, I wouldn't get this. I would wait until you're much more familiar. Secondly, I put this in my favorites video, and somebody wrote in the comment section that there is a whole book. I haven't gotten it yet. I would like to. That goes over all of the deities, folklore, and fairy tale that's in these cards, which would be massively helpful. The one complaint that I have about this deck that I mentioned in that video is that a lot of these cards are not intuitive and they really throw me off. But that's because each card depicts a different folklore, fairy tale, or deity from cultures all throughout time, history, and the globe. It's very cool, but because of that fact, it doesn't necessarily trigger my understanding. Now, for instance, the Sun card depicts Ra, the god Ra from ancient Egypt. That one immediately evokes the correct archetypal energy that I need for the Sun because I know that mythology. But I don't know almost any of these. I mean, some of them really work well. The Six of Wands, it has, African princess or something. She looks like a warrior coming back from battle with her swords on her horse. It looks like Six of Swords like that, or Six of Wands. That works for me. So, for instance, the Four of Swords shows some kind of wolfy creature thing with what looks like a knife through his mouth, and 3 other swords in the foreground. Four of Swords is primarily a card about rest. Doesn't look very restful. Looks like he needs to rest, which I guess makes sense, but it doesn't immediately evoke the concept of rest to me. And the Six of Coins shows looks like an elderly Eskimo lady letting a fly out of a jar with a cat in the background. Nothing about that. So some of the cards, and that's not all of them. A lot of these cards really do make sense. A lot of them follow the traditional imagery close enough that it makes sense. And it is a really, really fantastic deck. It shuffles like a dream. It has like a texture on it. Here, I'll show you. Let me use my microphone. That may not sound as pleasant as it actually is, but there's like this texture on these cards. They feel like really high quality cards. I can honestly say, of all the cards I own, none of them feel as luxurious and expensive as these cards do. And the sound that they make and the feeling that they have when I shuffle them is like, I mean, listen to this sound. It's so good. It really is a beautiful deck. For the record, they don't come in blue sides. I colored the sides of mine blue. I like doing that. It's really a beautiful deck. It really, really is. I will say it's not great for if you're learning, but if you're somebody who collects deck, and definitely buy this. All right. I know that I already filmed the longest spiel about this deck twice. So let's go again. For the record, I love this deck. I'm going to say mostly good things. A couple of things bother me, but for the most part, I love this deck. True Heart Intuitive Tarot. This is an awesome deck. Big, big, beautiful book. And one of the things I love about this book, 2/3 of this book, like how much? Like this much of the book is just the major arcana. Like 2/3 of the book goes over 21 cards because she is very extensive on all of the majors. It starts with, you got keywords, and then you have low vibe, high vibe, which is upright and reverse. She goes into a lot of detail about the upright, a short synopsis about the reversed, and then she writes like a personal story related to that card for each. It's like a short memoir. Like it's like the major arcana is her own memoir of her fool's journey, basically. It's really kind of cool. I don't like when they package cards like this. It makes me crazy. I just want to dump my cards out of the box. I don't want to fetch them out. I also feel like everything about these cards and this box screams cheap to me. Like the book, spent some money on the book for sure, which is awesome. And maybe that was a trade-off. I don't know what happened behind the scenes there. The box I could deal with. It's a little cheap, but it's fine. These cards, they aren't bad. I can shuffle them. They're a little clunky, they're a little chunky. But here's the thing. I cannot describe this card stock. I don't know how. You would have to feel it. But let me show you. Okay. Okay. I don't understand. It feels like I could print it at home. It's very papery. This is as much paper as the Modern Witch is plastic. It's like the other end of the spectrum. I prefer it over the plasticky thing, but it is weird. Also, can we just agree that this is Harry Potter vibes all day? Like, is that not Gryffindor signature red, or am I crazy? The backs of these cards just scream Harry Potter to me. Now, it is a really, really beautiful deck. She also calls Pentacles, I think, discs. Yeah. A lot of these interpretations are actually really, really good. And I do really, really like this deck. And I would absolutely recommend it. The Mystical Dream Tarot. I was so hype when I saw this deck. The artwork is absolutely some of the most gorgeous artwork I've ever seen on any tarot deck ever. It is beautiful. It's a really nice box, a little pull tab here, but they did that fucking thing, and this one is the worst one I've ever seen, and I'll show you why. They're individual cradles with little holes in the side, like little scoops, but the scoops aren't adequate to scoop the whole deck out. So every time I had to get my cards out, it just turns into me, like I end up trying to use my nails to get all the cards out. My only other option is to flip it, and then I have a mess on my hands. So I know those are really tedious, dumb things to complain about, but I'm just letting you know. These are the things that I'm anal about. It's a nice heavy-duty box, though, and a big, beautiful book. Now, I don't use this deck. I want to. I plan to. I really want to connect with this deck. A lot of the cards are renamed, and a lot of the interpretations in here doesn't feel cohesive with traditional interpretations. And I don't remember what the whole deal is with this deck. Each image direct from the author's own dream experiences is an original offering rich with powerful insights designed to awaken that which is essential for moving forward on your life's journey of September. This really feels more like a very personal expression of somebody's internal psyche. That's what it feels like. It doesn't feel, I don't know, man. Here's the thing. It is beautiful. Like, I don't know who, I should look, actually. I don't know who illustrated this. Illustrated by Tom Duxbury. I would like to know if he has illustrated other decks, because I will purchase those decks. That's how beautiful this artwork is. It is so gorgeous. The color palette is crazy beautiful. I cannot get over it. It is quite glossy. It's fairly thin, but it's actually, all in all, it's not bad to shuffle at all. Little clunky, little chunky. That being said, this is probably the least intuitive deck I've ever seen, and that's my problem with it. Like, it's beautiful, but I have to look at what it says, Four of Pentacles, and then I have to conjure up the Four of Pentacles in my mind. Because this is, I think that's an onion? Like, it really is not helpful. The Five of Pentacles is a lady and a fish. I don't know. And then a lot of the major arcana has been renamed. Let's see. 21 is Serpentina Soul. And this appears to be a man who has a snake as one arm and feathers as another. I don't even. Snake Sun? I don't get it. Let's see. 8 is the Wise Fox. They renamed it in a way that doesn't make sense to me. We also used Lord's Spirit. It's not, the court card's all renamed Dreamer. I think it's Dreamer Weaver, something like that. I don't ever know. Let's see, 11 is Sophia. Like, and then a lot of the interpretations of these cards, like if you read the book, I don't know where they come from. It doesn't feel like it's not a Rider-Waite deck. It's not at all. This is somebody who used the Rider-Waite system to design their own interpretations of archetypes that are not at all based on the Rider-Waite system. That's what I would say. Absolutely. It's beautiful. It's so pretty. And I had such high hopes for it. And I do plan on trying to work with it because I do love it so much. Like, it's so pretty that I cannot help but want to work with it. But, yeah. I got a lot of issues with it, if you couldn't tell. This is the Forest of Enchantment Tarot. Small thing that bothers me. I'm realizing how annoyingly annoyed I am with everything, and I'm really disappointed in myself right now. The box says Forest of Enchantment, and then when you open it, the book says Enchanted Forest, and I don't know why that bothers me, but it bothers me. Lack of consistency. I have a lot of Taurus, Scorpio in my chart, okay? You gotta be consistent with me, or I don't trust you. Now, this book is full color and beautiful. This is a book. Like, this is the kind, I wish every deck came with a book like this. Another thing about this book that I love is they did not organize this by suit. They organized it by numerical value. So all your aces are together, all your twos, all your threes, which actually makes it really easy to navigate to. And I really like it. I love that so the Ace of Visions, this is what the card looks like. This is a full color, full page, all the way to the edge depiction of what that card looks like. You can see the artwork in full scale. It's beautiful. And the artwork in here is beautiful. I don't read reversals in this deck because there are no reversals in the description. And that's how I generally judge that. If somebody doesn't use reversals in their book, I assume they offered it on a 10 for reversals, and therefore it's not built into the deck, and therefore I don't use reversals. It is a very, very thin cardstock. It's very like, however, I actually really like it. I don't generally like thin cardstock, but this actually shuffles really nice. It's the perfect size. It's a normal little tarot deck size. The cards aren't crazy thick. Look at how easy it fits in my hand, my short little hand. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful deck. The artwork is all the way to the edge. No border. I love borderless art. I know, you're waiting for the complaint, right? Everything's been renamed in a way that's not intuitive to me. All the suits are renamed, and it's not like pentacles are discs or coins or something. We have challenges, visions, I forget what all they are, spells, and challenges. I'm pretty sure challenges is swords, spells is wands maybe. I think visions is cups. Boons is pentacles. Also, the interpretations of them stray a bit. Not really. Somehow it still makes sense, but it's all based on kind of like fairy tale, enchanted, fae, whatever. The court cards are different. And then pages are called child, knights are called seekers, queens are called weavers, and kings are called keepers. So everything's been renamed, so there's a bit of a learning curve there. And I'm glad the book is as good as it is, because I actually use it for this deck. Because I can never remember what the fuck these cards are. But it is a really beautiful deck. I like to use it as a clarifier primarily. I don't usually use this deck as like a primary card, although I will say I have found, even though this is a very light and bright and no reversal having deck, I have found this has been good for shadow work. Surprisingly. Just shuffling it because I want to. It's a beautiful deck. I recommend it a lot. It also has, so instead of making 2 pockets, okay, it's 1 pocket with a ribbon. Do you see the ingenuity? There's no way that this, let me just make my point real quick. Just make my point. There is no way that this, all cardboard clearly, with 2 magnets in it, is more expensive than this hard deck with plastic inlay. There's no way. This is definitely more expensive option, and yet it's frustrating to use. This, while clearly a very affordable production, is actually a very sensible mechanism. And they put all their extra money into a full color book. This is a great deck. It's I don't know. It's either the Force of Enchantment Tarot or the Enchanted Forest Tarot. Inconsistency. Last, but not least, the Modern Spellcaster's Tarot. This is the same setup as the one I just showed you. You got a magnet box with a full color book. Doesn't have the full page thing, but you got full color glossy page book. Single insert, ribbon. Okay, whoops. That has literally never happened before. So, just making me look stupid. Anyways, nice box, nice book. Same quality cards. I'm guessing they're printed by the same people. I actually don't know. Yeah. They're both Lowen. I can never say that name. Same cardstock, printed to the edge. Beautiful. Beautiful artwork. Love it. When I first got this deck, I actually felt like it was one of those decks that was never nice to me. I didn't like it. I was actually kind of scared of this deck for a while. But it has really grown on me, and I genuinely love it now. It's really beautiful. Really beautiful. Really well made. The only real pet peeves I have with it are the elemental associations between the swords and the wands are reversed. So swords are fire and wands are air. Wait, is that backwards? No, I said that right. But I mentioned that in my favorites video, and somebody pointed out to me in the comment section that that is based on, I think it was druidic practices or something like that. I forget. There was a root for that. There's a reason why. The other really cool thing about this deck is that each card description comes with your description, your reverse, and then your magical uses. And it tells you what that card's use on an altar would be, or how it could lend energy to your ritual work, which is fucking cool. For sure. I would recommend this deck highly. So there are links to all of these in the description box below. And full disclosure, they're going to be Amazon affiliate links. I will get commission if you choose to buy them. I have made a whopping total of $6 so far on my last video. So I'm raking in the big bucks over here. That being said, it is appreciated. So if you use my links, I will get commission. I appreciate it though. So, do that or don't. It's your life. Live it. Just do it. Nike? I don't know. Anyways, if you appreciated this video and all of the hard work I put in, so much hard work that I had to drink by the end of it, then a like, a subscribe, or a comment is really appreciated. And I appreciate when you do that. It means a lot to me. It helps me. That being said, this is all I got, man. This is my tarot collection. I'm also going to do an oracle video. I was planning originally to film it after this one. That's not fucking happening. So, another day. Have a wonderful day, and leave me a comment and let me know if you have these decks or if there's decks I should get. Oh, and don't forget the Celestial Tarot. I really want to know. I'm trying to find an astrology tarot card deck study. You know what I meant. Just drink some more. Have a good night.